Hello guys, Theorycrafter here. Today we are doing a patch review of 11.4. That's my first patch review. I will see if there's some interest. I'm thinking of doing that every single patch. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to the video. So let's see the overview. We have some interesting nerfs, we have some interesting buffs. There's some nerfs that in my opinion are missing. I would love to see a nerf in Udyr. I'm not really sure why Riot does not nerf Udyr. Perhaps because they are thinking of nerfing jungle this patch. Maybe that's why they didn't nerf any jungler. They want to see how things will go. So nerfs, Camille, I agree, Kaisa, yes, Renekton, yes, Samira, yes, Scanner, yes. The only problem with Scanner is that he's one of the few champions that can be an answer to Udyr. And I'm not sure how things will go with Udyr, how you will be able to stop him. We have a buff in Amumu, Braum, Caitlyn, Fjorage. Yeah, I mean, I agree with most of these buffs. Some of them are a little random. I agree with Tryndamere. Tryndamere had a really hard time last patches. Veigar, same. Like, the game is kind of fast paced right now. And Veigar really struggles with that. Lee Sin, I would wait to see how jungle changes after the recent nerfs, because I think it will switch to a more early game jungler meta with heavy ganking playstyle, and Lee Sin really benefits from that, and I'm not sure if it's a good idea to buff him before that, but I mean, he struggles a little bit in Season 11, so yeah, let's see more specific changes. Momo's always sad, but he's particularly depend. Okay, in skill levels of play. Okay, so they want him to be able and see some play in higher elo. I'm not sure if that's possible right now. Like, Amomo is a heavy farming jungler that is really weak early game, and a lot of the meta junglers right now, for example, Udyr, Lilia, perhaps Graves, there's so many champions that can actually just invade Amumu, and I don't think we will see a change. I don't think. Yes, Amumu will be actually a really good pick in low elo, so if you are gold and below, absolutely you should start playing more Amumu, but above gold, I don't think there's gonna be much of a change. Maybe he's gonna be more viable in platinum, because I like 5 health buff, and sure, a buff in his C, but not early game, like it's after his level 4. Braum, RW, Braum, R cooldown decreased. I agree, I think this one will make him so that he sees more play. Basically, it's 20 seconds decrease in every rank. So that will make him have similar cooldowns to a lot of meta supports right now, maybe even better cooldowns in his ultimate compared to other supports. So I think Brown buff we will actually see some Brown, because if I'm not wrong, there's we have a buff in Caitlyn, a buff in Ziggs, a buff in Ginzos, so maybe we will see some more Brown. We will see how that goes. Caitlyn buff, damage growth, attack speed growth. I mean, it will make sense, but I don't know. Again, I think some AD carries that are more mobile will benefit more from the changes in jungle, because when you have ganking oriented junglers, you really like having some mobility carries. So I think we will see more Israel. I think we will see more Lucian, especially with the recent buff in Braum. The Lucian Braum combo is really good. But yeah, Caitlyn has the tools to be good. I just don't think there's any item that really benefits her right now. Gale Force feels kind of weird on Caitlyn. Kraken Slayer, I guess, is the only one that makes kind of sense. Immortal, maybe. I don't know. There isn't much, but I'm sure we were gonna see Caitlyn because of nerfs to Samira and nerfs. Is there a nerf to another champion? Samira and Kaisa, which are both low ranged champions, and Caitlyn is really good against them. So we will definitely see more Caitlyn. I think she will come in the meta again. Camille. Okay, and increasing her W, this will make her less annoying. I still think she's gonna be a really good pick, and I don't see her going out of meta. Fiora, buff, mark damage. Okay, Fiora is gonna be even more annoying. She can... I mean, Fiora was actually good, and then they nerfed Hydra, and then she became not that good. I think she's a really good option against tanks. She can be a great lane bully. We will see. Jinx. Okay, actually that's a really good buff. 550 to 610. Jinx actually was always a good pick, especially lower reloads. She's a scaling pick, and now she's safer, which will help her a lot together with the nerfs in things like Kaisa and Samira. And I know I repeat myself a lot, but these two picks really are some of the best AD carries right now, together with Jhin, I guess, and MF. And you know, this extra health can actually help you get out of the laning phase, scale better. So yeah, Kaisa nerf, I agree. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think she needs a crazy nerf, because apart from higher elo, she would get too fucked up in lower elo. So I agree that they do a lighter touch to her. Katarina, on hit, I agree. Yeah, basically it says, hey, you can take Kraken Slayer on Katarina, but then they nerf it, and now they buff it again. I think it's a fine buff. Level 1 doesn't matter, stays the same, which again does not matter, because I mean, up to level 11, yeah, you're gonna have a Kraken Slayer, but I agree, you don't wanna overbuff Katarina. I don't think it's an overbuff. I think there are other picks that would love some buffs, like Aurelion Soul. Aurelion Soul is in a really bad state right now. In low elos, in high elos, he doesn't see any pro play. And yeah, I don't think... I mean, sure, Katarina does not see pro play either, but she's picked at least in solo queue. Aurelion Soul needs some love. So yeah, I think there are some picks that need buffs more. Same with Urgot, I don't agree with the buff. Lee Sin, we will see, I don't know. Renekton, I kind of agree, but they lower his sustain. Well, the buff is not... the nerf is not that big, and I guess it's a fine tune for more organized play, which... because the healing from minions can actually give some sustain in case you want to play safer. So perhaps in harder matchups or in ranged matchups, which Renekton does not really struggle against, but you get my point. And here we have Samira. That's the most debated nerf of these pods. I think they're planning to do heavier nerfs in PB, if I'm not wrong, and like they took some back. A lot of people have come out and be like, hey, Riot, don't do that. She's one of the few AD carries that can still do things. And I think a lot of people will still play Samira and just lose games. Bonus damage ratio decreased, Q flare damage decreased, W duration decreased. Samira no longer dashes through allies, that's big. I think that's the biggest nerf right now. Okay, you can dash through enemy turrets. And dash speed decrease. Okay, so plus your okay, these two things are the biggest nerf in my opinion. W is fine, it's a fine tune. Q, you know, less damage, passive less damage. But I think that in my opinion made Samira so safe. She could just dash through allies, and that gave her so much safety. I think that nerf overshadows all the others. Plus the dash speed, like she's gonna be slower, so she can get stunned easier. And Inferno Trigger, Inferno Trigger cooldown, it had 3 seconds, which basically means nothing because it starts counting from the time you press R. So 8 seconds mean that in late game you are not gonna, in mid late game you are not gonna to be able to spam R 2 times in a team fight, maybe 3 times. So, but yeah, I agree with that. Like, I don't understand why they gave her an ultimate that does not cost mana, and neither does it have a cooldown. But yeah, I think Samira after that, she's gonna be kind of weak. In my opinion, the E-nerf and the ultimate nerf, they should have done only this. Perhaps W nerf, I agree with that too, because it makes it so that you will be able, that basically your W now, you have to use it better. You can, like, it will have a smaller duration, so you have to time it better. I don't agree with Q nerf, I don't agree with passive nerf. I think these were fine. All these were the big problems, and yeah, she's gonna be a bad pick. Riot will take back some of these, and then she's gonna be fine, in my opinion. Scanner, less health grow, so he's gonna be less tanky. I mean, Scanner needed nerf. He had something like 54% win rate, and the lower you went in Elos, and the more you let him scale, the scarier he becomes. So yeah, I agree with the nerfs. Maybe they could nerf you some more, but I mean, jungle gets nerfed, so yeah, you can't nerf junglers right now a lot. Soraka, I agree, Soraka has a really weak early game. She does not offer much, and she doesn't see a lot of play. Movement speed bonus, okay, that's a nice one. So instead of giving her more damage, they give her more movement speed, and that can actually make her seem like put some skill expression in her. I like that. Plus W, like small buff, it's 10 extra health. I agree. Like Soraka just heals, like she's just the counter to poke champions in lane. So I think buffing her heal just by 10, it's not something crazy. Yeah, I like that. Talon, cooldown, okay, it scales. Okay, so that's a buff for Talon. If I'm not wrong, people max Q though, so he won't see a change till level 9. I mean, maybe a small change, but up to this point you will not have bought a lot of items, so like at around level 9, you take your Dusk Blade, you start maxing your W next after your Q, and the bonus damage ratio gets online. I like that. Talon early game is good, he fall offs really bad, and I agree with this. Although I don't think he's a weak pick again. As I said, there's a lot of picks that are way worse, like, I don't know, like Aurelion Soul. I will say that again and again. I think there are other picks that need buff more than Talon. Tryndamere, I agree. The critical nerfs just have kind of let down Tryndamere. Maybe with Gale Force, but then they nerfed Gale Force and he lost again some power that make him viable. And yes, Gale Force needs a nerf. It's too strong for AD carries, but it made Tryndamere actually viable. It's 3 damage buff in case like 10 damage is 300 gold, so 1 damage is 10. It's basically 90 gold buff. Tryndamere has some good early game. It will make him CS better, maybe get some early kills. If he gets early kills, he can snowball really hard. So yeah, I don't think he's awful pick. There are definitely worse picks in top lane than Tryndamere. Maybe the buff to Fiora, because Fiora was always kind of fine against Tryndamere. She had her W, sure. And I don't know. Maybe they could give some more buffs, but I prefer small buffs and see how it goes and put extra things after. Varus, I agree with the buff. More damage, yes. I don't see any play at Varus in low elo, in mid elo, in high elo, in pro play. I absolutely agree. Yes. Veigar, as I said before. Ginzos, I agree. It's a small buff. It's 5% extra attack speed. This will actually make Senna better because he has the Ginzos build. Will make Vayne better. Will kind of... I mean, Kai'Sa got a nerf, but she will get some power back if she goes for Ginzos, so she won't be that much worse. But again, I think, like, unless the champion has unhit damage himself, you lose, like, later on, especially later on, you lose a lot of damage by not having critical. Most on Renewer, 70 to 100 goes to 50 to 100. Okay, so based on analyze level, okay, the idea here is that you don't want that item to get on high level people, so that's not a nerf for supports, that's a nerf. I mean, there's a small nerf for supports too, but it's more about junglers like Lilia, about mid laners that bought this item. Malzahar, I think, could bought. I mean, not really, but there were some AP laners that can buy Moonstone Renewer. I knew that there were a lot of junglers, but yeah, that's mostly a nerf for mid laners. And a small nerf for supports too, but I don't think it's going to be a bad item by any means. Grievous Wound, I agree, there's a lot of healing, though there's a problem in the game, and the problem is that if you continue buffing items that offer Grievous Wound, you will make it mandatory, and basically champions that rely on self-healing, like Vladimir, like Mudo, like, okay, Mudo is probably going to get some small update, but Atrox, you know, all these picks are actually quite bad when they are against multiple Grievous Wound items. So I think it's a better idea to nerf healing from runes, although they did it already, and if you think that's not enough, just lower the cost of these items, don't make them stronger. Don't make the late game stronger, make the early game stronger, like, okay, I can buy some self-healing early on, but later on I will lose value, and healing is not that good late game anyway, because there's so much burst and so much damage, so I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea to buff the late game of champions that go for Grievous Wound. It should be a trade-off. Mage items, Cosmic Drive, I don't like that. No longer grants movement speed with dealing ability damage. Instead, if you have 160 ability power, gain 20 ability haste and 10 to 30 movement speed based on level. Okay, and ability. So it gives more ability haste, but you need 160 ability. So you will need runes plus starting. You will need 2 items. Cosmic Drive is not bought before 2 items usually. Not on Casio, not on Vladimir, not on Rise. They prefer buying other items anyway, so that's just a buff for Cosmic Drive. Plus, you no longer need to deal ability damage, so it's one thing to have movement speed to follow. You know, if you have Casio, you use your E and you follow someone with your movement speed from Cosmic Drive. But now you have movement speed all the time, so you move faster on the map. It's not just for fighting, you can move faster, you can rotate faster. They just buff Cosmic Drive. You know, you buy third item Cosmic Drive and you're fine. Everfrost, increased health, increased damage but less AP ratio, and less cast time. Okay, it's a buff for Everfrost. I think Everfrost plus the buff to Veigar will make him really strong. I'm not sure why people do not buy Everfrost on Veigar. A lot of people go for Ludenseco. This will actually make him a really viable pick together with others. Because the way I see it is if you have a champion that really relies on one ability, you can just go for Everfrost and use Everfrost, and if you miss hit, you don't use ability. If you hit it, you can use your critical ability and just 100 to 0 summon, probably, you know. I think it's an amazing item. So it's gonna give some health, which is nice. Damage kind of be the same, but I think the biggest buff is this one, so it's almost gonna be instant right now. And yeah, that's the thing here. The jungle camp changes. So in case you don't know what happens, all camps will give less experience now, even on higher levels. So it's not an early game nerf, it's a nerf during all the game. They are also giving less gold. The large scrag gives less gold, and Chrome gives less gold, and Raptors give less gold. So less gold for junglers, less experience. The first clear is not gonna get affected. So early game, you can do the same clear, but as the game goes on, you're gonna, I think you could even fall behind from your ADC in terms of levels. I agree that jungle needs a nerf. I used to main jungle last season. Now I play support. And although that it hurts me, statistically, jungle is the best performing role. There's a problem that not many people want to play jungle. And this will probably make even less people want to play jungle. But jungle is just, for solo queue at least, the best role right now, apart from mid lane. And basically that's a buff to every other role. It's a buff to top laners. Like solo lanes right now, especially top laners, are gonna be even higher level from junglers. Like junglers that have strong early game and they don't really rely on gold, and perhaps they have good base stats. Maybe first of all, tank junglers are gonna get benefit from that. Not really, because tank junglers love power farming. Okay, I think Nunu will get benefit from that. I think Xin Zhao, I think of all early game junglers. Like I think we will see more ganks, but if you fail a gank, then you're gonna be even more behind, because now it's not just an experience buff, and that's something important. It's not just an experience nerf. Because if it was just an experience nerfs, yes, you are gonna have a lot of ganks, but they also nerf gold. and less gold means that maybe you need to do one more camp, and one more camp to buy an item may translate to 10-20 seconds depending, you know, and 10-20 seconds may mean that I may not be in the lane to cover my laner, or I may not be in jungle in Drake to contest it. Maybe it's a little too much. I'm not sure. I wanna see how it goes. I agree. Junglers should earn it, and just because people do not like the role, I don't think it should be the most broken role. Like, and that's not something I say. I'm not crying about the role. I'm thinking of making a video in the future that I can compare all roles and which role is the best to climb. I think there's not such thing for season 11. I haven't seen anyone doing that yet. And yeah, if you would like that, you can leave that in the comments. And yeah, I'm coming. Okay, nothing really interesting after that. So that was it, guys. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe. My name is Theorycrafter, and I'll see you on the next video.